and welcome to our webinar. This is Pooja and I'm a part of Code Ground. So this session is going to be on the global recruitment industry. Now, if you see recruitment as such, like literally every other field is being disrupted by technology, creating a host of new changes and opportunities at the dawn of this new year. Stay put for a quick overview of the industry and learn about top recruiting trends, challenges, and its dynamics with reference to various upcoming trends and developments within the industry. What you see here is a brief flow of the webinar. And as we go on with our presentation, you could actually, you can feel free to raise any query or type in your suggestions and inputs. You could also get in touch with us after the webinar, and we'll be happy to cover anything that hasn't been talked about today. Global recruitment market as such is a vast topic to cover, so brace yourselves and buckle up. We expect the webinar to go on for say 30 to 40 minutes, so let's just get down to business. Now before we actually go hunting for solutions and to study the market, let's first check if we are on the same page when it comes to some of the top pain points in recruitment that actually need to be addressed. Recruitment is definitely not shopping mall easy. It's a tricky and it's very tricky driving traffic to your jobs. Increasing conversions is a Herculean task, guys, and I guess we can all agree on that. It's tough but crucial to move from recruiting thing to the whole marketing thing. An outdated career page is your worst nightmare. Trust us when we say this. Engaging with top talent is challenging, especially holding their attention, especially in today's clutter. Applicants just don't seem to reach the finish line, do they? You might make the mistake of missing out on passive candidates, and this is a very expensive error. You might be spending money on things without knowing what really works, and being under a rock and not catching up with digitalization. To an extent, guys, we must all agree we are all guilty of this crime. All this we agree has to be dealt with. Hiring in 2017. Finding the best candidates for a given position is an arduous task, given the changing trends in the recruitment industry. Before we actually go ahead with the webinar, let's first be updated briefly on what we saw in 2017. India shining. So, as Indian organizations have gone global, there has been a demand for global talent in multiple ways. Hiring by Indian companies, movement of Indian talent, and postings in India has become the locus in the global talent chain. The sharing of economy. So, part-timing talent saw an uberization of skills, and marketplace for skills have developed. Both organizations and individuals will be more comfortable with part-time associations. Technology and hiring. So what we saw is we saw an increase in automation in the hiring process, and the application of technology solutions have actually improved the efficiency of the entire process. It will eliminate activities that don't add value and reduce constraints. Creation of skills. Businesses that are used to recruiting ready talent have been investing more in creating new skills through innovative tie-ups with institutes, governments, and research bodies. So given these trends, the hiring functions will need to play an increasingly strategic role in organizations and sort of reorient itself to meet the organization's expectations. We love a bit of research and data, don't we? Especially in the recruitment industry, there are so many nuances and variants in the way we work, the processes we follow, etc. It's sometimes difficult to determine what is the best tried and tested method for doing something in some particular way. What extensive data analysis does is highlight the trends and commonalities that can give us the edge in determining what strategy to deploy when and where, how to achieve the most consistent results, etc. So here are a few data-driven stats for the same. The hiring volume is set to increase around the globe, with the UK looking at a rise of 58%. Statistics say that about 79% of job seekers are likely to use social media for their job search. 80% of executives believe that artificial intelligence can improve productivity and performance. Two out of every three US, UK based companies surveyed says that social media is a necessity for companies' C suite executives. Ethnically diverse companies are 35% more likely to outperform industry medians. 66% of people who recently changed jobs were aware of the companies they joined before they applied. So now that we've entered 2018, when we talk about recruitment and the year that's gone by, we, after several articles, trust us on that, white papers and webinars, can say 2017 was absolutely the year of artificial intelligence, automation, and extraction of bias and diversity at the workplace. And of course, the most important of all, improvement of candidate experience. With the global economy on the growth and unemployment at a low for over a dozen years now, the entire industry is facing a paradigm shift. What's in store for us in 2018? What will the new year bring? Let's look at the top recruitment predictions for 2018. Hiring continues to increase. Basically, we're trying to say the strong economy is driving demand. Indeed did a small survey and found that hiring will see an increase, with 61% of HRs expected to hire more people in 2018 than they did in 2017. About 29 are expected to maintain the current strength, out of which 56% of employers are hiring to accommodate organizational growth and only 13% for backlogs. The focus is going to be on conversion rates. Guys, quality is going to beat quantity any day. On an average, a recruiter goes through about 225 candidates before signing out on a single hire. This is about, say, a 0.4% conversion rate overall. That's a cry to adopt technologies and automations that can totally improve candidate matching and efficiency by analyzing the job description, scanning the database, and then striking a match. Artificial intelligence. This is going to be the biggest challenge 2018 is bringing to us and beyond. Spend time in understanding how your competitors are adopting. May 2018 be the year to look back at your budget allocations and even sample out new solutions in the market. Candidate-centric market. The experience a candidate goes through will be the ultimate differentiator. 4 of every 5 candidates say the overall experience they receive during the hiring process reflects how an organization values its employees. Engagements and connections need to be made to strike a chord and keep it real with a human touch. No point in working for wrong employer branding on the very foundation of weak employee experience. That's going to backfire. Automation is obvious and it holds enormous potential. While automation can't really be sidelined, we should remember the resources we're dealing with here is human, and everyone needs a friend. Relationships absolutely matter now, today, more than ever. Budget allocations has to be dealt with, and make sure evaluating new solutions in the market before you get on board. Retention is more crucial than ever, especially in today's tough times. We get it that processing all the above information and planning your strategy for the coming year can leave you sort of feeling a little overwhelmed and maybe even a little bit under-equipped. But worry not, for there are many ways to find the right glove-like fit for your organizational needs. Quickly, let's sort of brush up on market segments. The recruiting market segmentation is one of the significant course of action while building a quality sourcing engine. A recruiter cannot just fill the positions if they do not know how to have a targeted outreach of strong networking. Let's look at the entire recruitment ecosystem now that's widely used to find the best candidates. So you see, recruitment as such can be segmented based on the competitors. Recruiting any candidate directly from a competitor, however a little sneaky though, can always be a beneficial. Because while you hire the top candidates, you're actually creating a gap for them with the job possibilities. Segmentation can also be based on the industry. It can be based on the very function. You see, not all skill sets required are the same. The recruitment opens up new off industry targets within the local geography. It helps save money in the recruitment process because a candidate from other industries can be available at a lower income, lower salary as such. Geographic based segmentation. Now, not necessarily would this provide 100% targeted results. However, this type of segmentation is based on if the recruitment process is divided on the basis of basic geography. Psychographic based segmentation. Basically, sometimes a recruiting firm finds such organizations in different industries that have valued corporate culture similar to their own. Employees of these organizations can shift easily into our organization because they sort of share the same value, the work ethics, the attitude, etc. So, traditional recruitment. One thing these traditional recruitment advertising tactics all share, like, when we talk about the tactics, we mean newspaper, the local employment office, we mean temporary agencies, etc. What thread in common they have is that they are great for building brand recognition and awareness. Sort of like broadcast employee messaging. So one can absolutely not afford to miss out on this in this cutthroat world. This is really important in attracting the right talent. Traditional forms of recruiting are far from dead, despite what people would have you believe. However, there is always the shock of the new. Online recruitment offers a number of positives for companies looking to hire. The first is the sheer number of potential applicants you can reach. Social media offers a great way to engage with potentially both active as well as passive job seekers and those who are not really looking for a move as such as well. Online recruitment advertising can offer great value for money, but thanks to all the internet clutter, it requires careful curating and work to get to the most of them. What's important here is to assess your business, your industry, study your requirements, your competitors, and then take a call. We have actually done a lot of webinars before on the said digital aspect of recruitment. So you could get in touch with us for a copy of the same. Global recruiting trends for 2018. The global recruitment industry has grown exponentially in the past few years, giving a boom to the recruitment industry. There's no denying the fact that technology has shaped how primary employers and employees go about with their daily activities. Here we will discuss some trends that are going to be shaping the recruitment picture in the very future. Number one, we're starting off with artificial intelligence. By utilizing AI to deal with tedious procedures that can be mechanized, you can free yourself up to concentrate on more crucial parts and more human parts of enrollment. Mobile recruiting. Statistics say that 45% of job seekers search for jobs on their mobile devices on a daily basis. In the present gadget friendly economy, many organizations are enhancing their sites for mobile viewing. Social media recruiting. Not utilizing online networking can eventually lead to an incredible loss of potential contracting volume. As 78% of job seekers are probably going to utilize it for their pursuit of employment. Online assessment portals. Now, these platforms offer an assortment of tools, including pre employment screening, identity appraisals, and testing or screening the candidates and the contenders to enable you to sort of choose from a pool of qualified applicants. Also, you can alter these functionalities to meet your organization's particular requirements for every particular activity. We will actually go on to discuss this in greater detail as we move ahead in the presentation. Recruiting agencies. The screening procedure while recruiting has a few layers, of course. A recruitment agency will make sure that these means are dealt with before the candidate actually gets seized for an interview with you. You can feel granted, rest assured, that anybody you meet has gone through an ordeal of these tests. Talent analytics. It's a well known fact that the level of data has exponentially exploded as of late. Hence, the time of big data has dawned upon us. Talent analytics is one of the best ways a company can use big data. It uses data to potentially assess candidates and also to track current employee productivity and efficiency. The global recruitment processing outsourced, what we lovely call the RPO, recruitment process outsourcing, provides the solution for talent acquisition services for both professional as well as non-professional job openings to a segment of BPO industry wherein the stipulated recruitment tasks of a company are transferred to a third-party vendor. The GPRPO market size. By utilizing artificial intelligence to deal with previous procedures, these can be mechanized and you can really free yourself up to concentrate on the more critical aspects of enrollment. Market segmentation. The RPO market is basically segmented on the basis of industry, verticals, and the engagement modules. Industry verticals, the market is distributed into the responsibility of results and proficient management of the recruitment process. Engagement models, this is when the market is segmented into an on-demand and end-to-end RPO. Geography divisions. Geographically, the RPO market report is incorporated into dedicated sections focused on the local market revenue and its trends. The RPO market dynamics. Here we talk about employer branding. The RPO programs can really play an important role in employer brand positioning and the overall candidate experience. It can also assist with any company's strategic talent consulting and long-term workforce planning to meet the business's demand, its ultimate growth. Demand for data. RPOs help an organization in gaining online access to advanced program analytics and workforce planning to boost their visibility with appropriate market dynamics. Globalization. So, what it does is it helps organizations to access required top talent from different geographies. With RPO's highly scalable model, an organization can meet their fluctuating hiring needs, driving candidate quality, improving and increasing employee retention as well. So when it comes to geography and recruitment process outsourcing, is like the prodigy of human resource outsourcing, which has been in and around for more than a decade. Based on geography, the RPO market is majorly consolidated in the North American countries and also in Europe. Here is a rundown of the major segmentation of RPO based on geography. North America. The North American RPO industry grew 13%, pushing it over 2 billion mark. And indicators suggest it will continue to expand at a projected rate of nearly 9% throughout 2018. Asia Pacific. Emerging RPO markets such as China and India, which are mostly included as a part of the multi-country deals earlier, are now increasingly witnessing greater single-country deals. Categorizing the growth maturity of RPO in these markets. The RPO market in Asia Pacific is relied upon to extend about four folds by 2022. The development of the Europe district is basically determined by the expanding interests for the RPO benefits in nations. For example, like you have France, the UK, Germany, Netherlands, etc. With the UK facing a steady growth of a whooping 58%. Rest of the world. So when we talk about the rest of the world, 41% of companies say that they're using the RPOs to fill specific roles and job families that are closely tied to organizational performances and productivity, compared to just 11% in 2011. So, guys, if you're a recruiter, then no matter in which company you work or who do you work for, which industry do you belong, one just has to stay abreast of the latest trends in the recruitment world. All you need to do is to be more proactive, to kind of know the enemy you know you're facing, anticipate his next move, and be successful. So, here we have compiled a list of the significant constraints and threats that the recruiters are facing today with some suggestions on how to deal with them. Recruitment market constraints. So, number one, we have the company's image, your brand presence. The most potential hire for which you're looking for may not be interested in applying for your job. This is because of a poor quality of company image in the perspective or in a particular organization due to the poor image of the organization in his or her eyes, unattractive job descriptions and job opportunities. Now, once you have put a nice company image, but the job posting you do is not so attractive, as in it's not worded nicely, the keywords have not been optimized or whatever, it would definitely not attract quality candidates. It's a huge turnoff, and it can be an important constraint in the recruitment marketing world. And one can absolutely not afford to miss out on that. Internal policies within the company. Mostly, some kind of internal recruitment policies will become a critical constraint for any company. For example, some local union regarding the recruitment management to select candidates might have some sort of criteria regardless of the merit or, etc. You also have budgetary constraints. And it actually plays a huge deal whether we like it or not in our recruitment processes and the quality of a hire. Government interference, and especially in countries like India, you see this as a major recruitment constraint, especially when they want to get set some policies regarding reservations for some communities by tying their hands with the recruitment managers. Market threats, here are a few for you. Finding the right candidates at the right time. So this is a super threat today, So for the solution, what one can do is a recruiter can overcome by stepping up their existing networks and job posting strategies. Strategize, and then move ahead. Underpolished candidates. To find talented candidates, you'll have to buckle up and cast the world wide web. But there always will be a threat of ending up with underprepared candidates in the final stage of interviews. What you can do here is launch up your assessments, launch up your interview process, see that they're passed through several layers of interviews before you actually filter out the ideal fit. Do not forget to assess your candidates on soft skills, on cultural fits, etc., because the cost of a bad hire is steep. Next, we have candidate competition. In today's recruitment market, it is very important to offer more than other recruiters and more than what your competitors are offering so that the client can get on their own. During the interview process, you can put yourself far and above your competitors, which can lead talented candidates to get on. Technology risks of traditional search tools. So, if you're utilizing traditional search methods, then you'll find your recruitment organizations and your organization as such falling far behind. So, try to adopt a new emerging technology, stay abreast, see what your competitors are doing, Look at the several tools that are there. That's mostly, it's so good, it's mostly free most of the times. And yeah, find the right fit for your particular requirements. Make the right decision. Being a recruiter, you know the cost of a bad hire. All you'll end up with is a loss of time and money. So it is all right to take some time before making an hire, but make an effort to see beyond the rudimental questions. Look for soft skills, look for psychometric assessments, take up more adaptive tests, etc., before you make the hire. Now, let's look at some of the new trends. Let's see what's happening in the recruitment world. The global gig economy. The sphere of work is evolving drastically, guys. The times of lifelong careers with a single organization, the long term security of a contract is like a fable of a long time long gone by. There has been a dramatic transformation occurring in today's economy, and the shift is contractual work. So, what is this? What's the deal with big gig economy? Digitalization has contributed directly to a decrease in on site jobs as software replaces some types of works, actually, most types of works, and means that others would take much less time. The trend towards a gig economy has actually begun. In this economy, temporary, flexible jobs are commonplace, and companies tend towards hiring independent contractors and freelancers instead of a full time committed employee. Why this? So, why gig economy? What comes with this is greater flexibility. You get to be your own boss, better work life balance, less stressful work environment for both the organization as well as the employee, opportunities to learn and advance their career parallelly, more meaningful work because you become extremely picky when you go about doing this. And there is definitely better pay, and by that you mean better income and greater respects and empowerment for an individual. Next, the next fancy boy in land is big data. So forget analytics. If we was to simply, yeah, actually for once, let's forget the whole fancy analytics. If we were to simply apply basic logic, considering the immense amount of information constantly proliferating online, added to that the recruitment industry actually sieves through various sources like you have resumes, you have applications, you have reviews, you have feedbacks and all of that. Armed with all of this information, one can positively conclude that the future of the industry has to be big data. It's not going to be mining for data in the closet at all. However, in theory, big data happens to still be in a very early nascent stage of development. This is going to absolutely change in 2018. It is, after all, impossible to recruit the same way we did even, say, 5 years ago. Here's how big data is doing its part in revamping the recruitment game in 2018. Big data recruiting goes on an exploratory hunt into the internet's wilderness and brings back a wealth of information on the candidate. And special emphasis is on those who demonstrate their expertise on social media channels. Online assessment tests. Now we have next the data aggregation happens. So data aggregation happens here. So details packed into a resume, job descriptions, applications, scanned business cards, brochures, database, etc. So like we were saying, so big data recruiting goes on an exploratory hunt. Next, the data aggregation happens. After this, the recruiters can deploy online assessment tests to analyze, measure skills, and understand even the intangibles like a candidate's idea, his thinking, his patterns, his very morale, etc. What happens next is algorithms goes to work. Armed with information gathered from these online assessment tests, algorithms march to work. The results will be plated in an array of information in the form of patterns and matches. You can thank keywords and scores that help narrow down the initial pool of candidate information. Parsing and the interpretation that shows up as results. Easy as it may sound, it's not trucks of data, churned, crushed, and parceled to you, the recruiter. The algorithm also interprets the parsing and interpreting that actually shows up as results. Manage and accurately process data. To manage and accurately process the data, categorizing it in the right manner is crucial. The effort will be amiss if a recruiter does not assess and analyze the information in the database to actually make sense of what data says about a candidate. Recruitment is a man plus machine approach, guys. What one should not forget in the end is that recruitment is, after all, to do with humans. Embracing the advancing roles big data plays in candidate search, we should understand that it is, in the end, the discretion of a recruiter to fully engage a candidate in an opportunity. So, a perfect social media strategy is the perfect combination of content, focused business goals, and types of audience. To benefit from social media, especially in the coming year, one needs to build a proper plan focused on what you're actually trying to achieve. And in our case, our prospective employees. Because if you use this platform correctly, you can easily create a strong personal connection with your audience. Let's go about looking at how to master the art of social media recruitment. Number one, define your goals and objectives. Your very first step while creating a social media plan should be to define your business goals. Some of the common goals include business awareness, product promotions, and customer engagement. All of these should be clearly defined in your social media plan extremely clearly. Pick the right channel. Not all social media channels are the same. You need to pick the right ones for the type of products or services you're actually selling. Now, for example, LinkedIn is good to target mostly B2B sales, while Twitter can be better if you want to post some kind of news feeds and updates. Actually, guys, we have done an extensive webinar only specifically on how to recruit better on LinkedIn and Facebook and as such. You can take a look at our YouTube channel to see how you can benefit recruiting on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Research, research, and did we say research? Next step of creating an effective social media strategy is to research. Develop and check a list of social media sites where you can potentially engage with your target customers. Look at what your competitors are doing. Do additional research to determine their relevance by looking for your brand name. Targeted keywords is the absolute winning mantra. And again, don't forget your competitors. Creating the right content plan. Finally, you need to create a strong content plan that can also deliver engaging material or information. Diversify the type of content you're developing. Throw in a mix, have videos, put up interesting content, create guides, host your own webinar, have infographics, or whatever works. The content needs to be properly aligned and be appropriate for the channel you're using, though. Leverage social media tools. You can leverage your social media promotions by using tools, and there are plenty. And trust us when we say this, there are plenty. These tools can help you target your audience and keep track of your business and your trends. Picking the right tools for social media management will not only make the tasks easier, but it can also save you a lot of time. For example, just to start you off, there are tools like Hootsuite, there's HubSpot, there's TweetDeck, there's Buffer, We've done a webinar on this as well, guys. There are lots more the internet has to offer the recruitment industry. Analyze, measure, report, and improve. Repeat. So your social media plan will never ever end without measurements. No plan for that matter. You need to analyze all of your social media campaigns by measuring reports and improve the efforts that you're putting in. Google Analytics dashboard helps you get the right insight into how people are actually sharing and consuming your content. Now, let's look at what internships is doing to the whole mainstream recruitment industry. And trust me, it's extremely revamping the standard of or the material or the kind of content that's being generated. Interns and freshers are absolutely the next generation of talent for your company who are going to take your legacy forward. Internship not only provides a great learning experience for college students, but also gives your current employees a chance to become mentors. Here are a few more points to sell you on the same concept. Future talent leads for your companies. Millennials interns will be the future talent leads for the company. There will be an extra pair of hands for execution. You can test out new ideas and roles of your company on them. You should give them credit for this, but they do. They do really good out of the box thinking. And the best of all, you get to test drive your future employees. Isn't that sweet? Like, that's a really good deal. So you could probably, quickly browse through some of the top portals that's there in the market today for looking for the right interns for your organization. Now let's look at a few online tools that's going to help you prepare for this new year coming in, which is going to be bringing in new hiring seasons for your organization. If there's a way to do one task, everybody looks for an easier way to finish the same. So, how would you feel if you could find a way of recruiting within the comfort of your cabin? Next up, we've listed out three tools which have proven its worth in efficiently hiring candidates. Number one, we have video interviewing. We believe every recruiter has to exploit this to their advantage. You get access to more talent, top talent, and all this faster. Today's most talented candidates are busy and in demand. This approach is far more convenient for candidates, which means talented candidates with time constraints will be more likely to agree to a video interviewing rather than meeting face to face. You can screen more effectively and efficiently. Because all applicants answer the same questions, employers can easily compare interviews on a case by case basis. Seeing and hearing a candidate on video gives you a better sense of engagement and enthusiasm than a mere pen, paper, resume, or a phone interview for that matter. It helps reduce discrimination. Geographical discrimination is the form of bias the video screening process is best at reducing. Candidates applying from outside, even abroad, has the same video interviewing experience as any local candidate. And no one has to leave the comfort of their home or offices to apply. It helps strengthen your brand. Now, you may wonder how, but to maintain a strong company brand, a customized video interviewing platform that includes the company's branding video is essential to helping the interviewee feel valued and welcomed. It also increases the likelihood that they'll attend an in-person interview if they make it to the next round, that is. You can also easily collaborate with your team members. What happens here is other team members can easily view, comment, and look at the content on the video recording, letting them, have their own time giving their feedback and input for very specific processes or applicants for that matter. Next, we have online assessment tools such as CodeGround that has been swapping the internet recently, helping recruiters assess and recruit in an automated way with instant report and analysis. Some of the top few advantages of an online assessment portal are as follows. It removes the burden of test administrations and increases flexibility. Automatic scoring of results happen. You get a detailed report and its analysis are delivered at the touch of a button straight to your desktop. Automated grading processes eliminates human error in grading. You also get the advantage of reaching out to huge numbers here. It can eliminate over 80% of unqualified bad hires. Objective hiring based on scientific test results. It minimizes the risk of bad hire because, like we said, the hiring is based on scientific test results. Next, we have the applicant tracking system. So the ATS is a software application that enables the electronic handling of a recruitment needs. So what this does is it streamlines and optimizes the recruitment process. It helps employers focus on growing a quality workforce. It assists in finding candidates. It is cost effective and improves the cost per hire. It reduces the time taken to hire. It automates data collection by receiving applicants in multiple ways. It centralizes all candidates in a single talent database. So now we've seen a lot of things, and if you had any doubts, you can actually get back to us and we can in detail discuss any specific topic. But here's a quick case study for you. So what happens is the challenge here. The client's Mexico division needed a more transparent and an effective recruitment function to continuously attract world-class talent. Historically, the company used external headhunters and HR partners, but instead needed to hire more candidates faster and in a more economic way. What the solution was that the Hudson RPO created an integrated delivery model and hired an on-site talent acquisition manager to recruit all professional level hiring. Hudson RPO provided the initial business consultation, discovery review, and implementation planning, along with business consultations, detailing the solution and its benefits. The results were that the newly hired talent acquisition manager achieved the following in the first year. They filled 50 positions in 8 months, virtually eliminating third-party agency hires, which saved more than $500,000 for the Mexican subsidiary in the very first year. It improves time to fill positions by 23%. So, guys, we've discussed a lot of things today, and to make it easy for you, we've come up with a very, very doable list of action items to get you thinking and to kickstart a very successful recruitment process for the coming year. So here goes. The very, very first thing is define the hiring process for each role. This is very important. The roles are different, the requirements are different. Make jobs discoverable on Google search. Go all out on keyword optimization. Look at your search engine optimizations as well. Make sure you get timely feedback from your interviewers. Improve your sourcing and employee referrals. And remember, candidate is king. You have to work on and improve a candidate experience. So we have a little request for everybody who has patiently actually sat through the whole presentation, and this wouldn't take a lot of your time. Kindly take a few minutes away to give us your really valuable feedback, and we'll be getting in touch with you for this very shortly. Also, register with us for the coming sessions as well. If you have any ideas or any suggestions on what you'd want a webinar on very soon, you could share this with us, and we'd love to address this very soon. We really do hope you found this webinar useful. Thanks again for participating, and feel free to get in touch with CodeGround for any recruitment needs. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and happy recruiting. Thank you.